Hello and welcome to the championship, the annual online championship hosted by ShuffleIT. This is round two. We had a bye in round one. So this is our first match. It's a single elimination tournament, best of 6. Here's the first kingdom. We have a lot of draw in City Quarter. That is the only draw. We have some means of trashing, remodel, treasurer can thin the deck. Lurker can also trash but not thin the deck. There's some gains in Beserk, Workshop, Nomads for plus buy, so you can build quite big here. There's also a landmark which gives you points for gaining more than one card in a turn, and you have a haven which could be useful. So we need to thin down. There's a lot of value in getting thin quickly, so we want to do that first and then build up with our gainers in Lurker preferably, because the Lurker can gain the City Quarter very easily. You don't have to pay 8 debt for it. Play one Lurker, trash the City Quarter, play a second Lurker, get the City Quarter out of the trash. Very good. So we'll try to use Lurker as much as possible here. Now, my opponent, BigFarm, opens 5-2, and that is very good on this board for them, very bad for me. I did not open with 5-2, I opened with 4 and 3. The reason why the 5-2 is so good, they open with Treasurer, which is the correct thing to do, and that will help them get to 5 in the future very easily. They could trash and still get to 5 for Berserker, which then gains. It snowballs from there. What can I do in response? I open with Remodel. I'm trying to get my Treasurer as soon as possible here. I believe I could do it with Remodel, because there is some shuffle where I am able to remodel an estate into a Nomad, gain $2 for that, and then have 3 copper to buy the Treasurer. It sounds a little niche, a little low percentage, but I have 1 favor from the Coastal Haven, so it's not as difficult as it would sound. The remodel basically has to not miss, I think. That's not entirely true. It still could not happen if I draw the remodel on turn 3, but maybe I save the remodel for the next turn. Who knows? What I'm saying is, because of the 1 Haven ability that I have, it is a little bit more likely. So Border Guard with the Treasurer for BigFarm makes sense. They want to see their Treasurer as soon as possible. I could get the Border Guard as well, or I could get a Lurker. I was considering Silver as well, just to increase my chances of getting to 5. I thought about it. Then I thought, okay, maybe I can play without the Silver. If I could put an action card in the deck instead, that is better, because City Quarter likes the deck to have lots of actions. I know I can remodel the Silver at some point, but if I could do without it from the beginning, why not buy something else? So I go for the Border Guard myself. It helps me line up that ideal hand of Remodel Estate, triple copper. But I did miss something here, and BigFarm actually points it out to me very soon. They go for their Border Guard, do not find their Treasurer. So that's good for me. They get a remodel, makes sense. I get to 4 here, and I skip past that copper crucially. So I just have to count the remaining cards in my deck. What I need to do here is save a copper for the next hand so that I get to 5. I have 3 to spend. I will go ahead and get an underling here. The havens will be useful, and I don't need a lot of them, just 1 or 2 in the opening shuffles to smooth out my hands. So I feel the underling is worthwhile here. Better than a silver, because you wanted the silver to get to 5, but I'm getting to 5 here anyway. BigFarm sees their Treasurer, trashes, and this is something I did not account for when I made my haven play. This is bad. They get the Berserker, a new card, Hinterlands 2.0. It gains. Crucially here, it makes me discard down to 3. So, because I did not count for this attack, I am going to miss 5, and that is very, very bad for me. Very, very bad for me. Best I can do is still remodel into the Nomads, getting rid of an estate from the deck and putting an action in the deck. I also get a little bit of money, so I'm able to buy a 3 cost here, or up to a 3 cost. BigFarm gets a Lurker, and at first I didn't like the Lurker, but you'll see what they do with the lurker. This is a key interaction that I missed, and it's probably something I should have considered on the opening. I get a border guard instead. Want to pair up my remodel with estate tree coppers, or even remodel with nomads. That'll get me into the treasurer here, and I figure I need to cycle. I'm way behind. I've only trashed an estate compared to their copper, but they have a remodel and a treasurer now, so their trashing is online. Here comes their remodel now to get rid of an estate. Could be for nomads themselves, could be for an underling. They go for the underling and they pick up another border guard. So I play my underling first. I play the underling first instead of the border guard because I want better information on my hand to know what I should pick up from the border guard. As it turns out, I didn't have much of a choice with the border guard, but I get to 5, which is crucial. So I get the treasure. I have the plus buy here, and I could buy the city quarter now if I wanted. It's not that good if I buy the city quarter now. I have most of my starting cards, 9 of them, let's say 8 of them by the time the shuffle comes around. And I have how many actions? 1, 2, 3 on screen, 4 in the treasurer, 5 in a remodel. That isn't the greatest deck for a city quarter. I get it anyway. The reason why is because I have the haven. If it comes up dead, I could always put it away for another turn where it might be better. That is the only reason why I bought the city quarter seemingly early there. It might still be wrong, but I did it also partially to gain some of those labyrinth points, but that shouldn't really be a consideration in your decision making there. Here's the trick I missed. Lurker can trash nomads, causing Lurker to become a silver. So I could have opened Lurker Remodeled, which is equivalent to opening Remodel Silver, which is something I was considering opening. And if you recall, my turn 3 hand was Border Guard Triple Copper. Could have been Treasurer earlier there if my Border Guard was a Lurker. But I missed the interaction, so I didn't even consider it whatsoever. They don't, so good for them. They buy another Berserker here. So they have quite a few terminals. No actions. I get rid of the estate here because I wanted to pay off debt. I remodel into a lurker. Now that I see the trick, well, I'm going to use it myself. Another trash and their first city quarter for BigFarm. So here I do take the city quarter. There are no actions in hand, but I am able to store it in the haven. This is very risky because my opponent has 2 berserkers. One of them is on screen here. So I may have to discard here, but they don't have the action. So I'm thinking, okay, they'll have to make a choice between trashing and gaining. And maybe they choose not to gain. And actually they don't choose to gain here, which is lucky for me. I get a good turn off, my first good turn of the game, I would say. Their lurker comes out, trashes more nomads. At this point, you don't really want to pick up the nomads because you don't have the actions to play it. So trashing the nomads is fine. They buy another border guard, pay off some debt. I get to draw quite a few cards with this city quarter. I'm very happy about that. Get to the end of my deck. We will not trigger the shuffle, of course. All the action cards are here. We do not want them to miss the shuffle. I turn my nomads into a berserker, finally landing my first attack. I gain a second lurker with it, so hopefully they'll start to gain me city quarters. This lurker will trash another nomads. I'll keep trashing with the treasurer, pay off some debt, and I could go back into debt, and I will, with another city quarter and haven away my border guard. So another good hand here for the city quarter, but there are discard attacks floating around. We do have to, keep that in mind. Trashes another nomads, and here comes their berserker, unfortunately. So I do get rid of the non-draw cards in the lurker. Maybe I could have kept the lurker to try to find both of them so I could gain a city quarter. That was a consideration, but I wanted to find the treasurer more than I wanted to find the lurker here. Alright, so BigFarm gets another city quarter. I draw into some good cards here. This is a decent turn, not the best. I trash another nomads. Take the key this time because the remodel will get rid of the copper for value, and I pick up a third city quarter and a border guard. This is not a good hand for the city quarter, but we have the haven. That one underling has been putting in work for us. So we'll just put the city quarter away for next turn. Not a big deal. And I think here is where BigFarm gets their big turns. The extra trashing has finally paid off for them. They are able to use their lurkers for city quarters instead of trashing nomads individually. They work better as a team. Now things look bleak for me. Maybe I could have tried to go for a second treasurer at some point to help trash, but now it's too late. I'm in a bad position here. BigFarm is able to get more of the city quarters than me at this point. They have more gain in the second Berserker. And they just have more of everything, more border guards as well, a thinner deck. I have no compensation, or before I had some compensation in having city quarters before them, but not the case right now. It's very difficult here for me to decide what to gain. I don't want to gain nomads. Another underling isn't useful. A silver isn't helpful to my city quarters. I don't want to gain the nomads because of a pile out situation here. There are only 4 nomads and 3 city quarters left. I don't want to put myself in a position where they could pile out easily. So I gain the lurker instead. I think the lurker is good. It gives me a little bit more options in terms of piling out. And here actually BigFarm makes a play. I'm not sure if they thought they could pile out at this point in the game, but I feel like I counted their gains and buys relatively accurately, and I don't see it. And actually, there isn't a pile out. They go through quite a few of the nomads, but emptying the last 2 city quarters is quite expensive, especially when you're already 8 in debt. So I didn't believe it from the beginning here, but they continue along the path of attempting this pile out. And here's a tactical play. I'm not sure if they were aware of it, but they end up making a tactical play here, which is they realize that I was in debt. So what they could do is clear their debt, take a points lead, and put the game in a position where they could pile out on the next turn, and I am unable to get a points lead on this turn. So that was a kind of tactical play, but this isn't sound in the sense that in theory, I have an opportunity to win here. So they buy the province, they put the piles very low, 1 nomads and 2 city quarters. And here's where the third lurker can shine for me. So I thought about it after they took their turn here. And there is a way for me to win with the cards in my deck. But I need to see all of them in the right order, and I'm only starting from a 3-card hand. So maybe it's not even possible from a 3-card hand, but I have the resources. It's whether or not I could find it. So the resources are, I have triple lurker. I could push out the 2 city quarters and the nomads from the pile. I could use Berserker to gain an estate, and then I could remodel my treasurer, for instance, or my underling, for instance, into a duchy, get a tie. I would be happy with a tie in this game. I had to play against 5-2, and I'll take the half a point and just go home with it, really. Maybe if I think a little bit more, I could win. But I have 6 debt, and then I would have to buy points. So I'm not too confident on being able to buy too many points. I'd have to gain my way through the end of this game. So let's see if we find the resources. We have 2 city quarters in hand, which is a great start. Unsure whether or not I should play the border guards before the city quarters, but I play the city quarters first. I take the lantern here. Instead of the horn, usually you take the horn, but here in this last turn scenario, I take the lantern so that the border guard has a greater search space. It could help me find the things that I'm missing. So right now I'm missing 3 lurkers, and I think this is my last city quarter, unfortunately. So it doesn't look very good for me here. I spend a few minutes thinking about what to do. I could remodel here now, for instance, and then draw with the city quarter, potentially drawing into the thing that I gained off the remodel. So for instance, I could remodel the estate. I probably don't want to remodel points at this point in the game, but as an example, could turn the estate into a nomad, draw with the city quarter. If I'm lucky, I find the nomads, get to play the nomads. That's a lot of money and a plus buy in a turn. I do have to sacrifice some draw for that. The remodel will come out of hand, so City Quarter will only draw me 2 cards. I decided not to do that in the end, to keep my remodel for whatever the City Quarter would find. I thought about other ways to win as well. Maybe you could remodel a state in copper into lurker, draw up the lurker, but the problem here, thanks to the Berserker from turn 4, is that I didn't have the draw. I just didn't have the draw. It forced me to discard. There's a bunch of junk in my discard, which otherwise would have been in my hand. So I'd have had a better chance of finding lurkers on this City Quarter. So in the end, I play the City Quarter and I realize, all right, I cannot see all 3 lurkers and the Berserker. I only have an underling and 2 border guards. It's not happening this turn. So the best thing I can do, tactically speaking, is not to touch the piles, but try to build up my deck so that I have more gain potential next turn, more pile out potential next turn, in the hopes that they brick. Maybe they draw a handful of actions that aren't City Quarters. I mean, they top decked our border guard, so I'd have to get through that as well, but I feel there's some minute possibility that they brick and I sneak away with this game. I can't pick up both lurkers. We knew this from the beginning here. City Quarter, border guard will choose either Berserker or lurker. I have to take the Berserker. It is my best chance at making them brick, and that is the out we're playing for here. I pick up a Nomads from the trash to gain some money. Berserker has to come out to trash. I could gain an underling, that's fine. That doesn't affect the pile situation. I choose to gain a remodel instead. That's also fine, doesn't affect the pile situation and gives me a little bit more options perhaps. Treasurer has to trash here if I am to go off next turn. That is the only line that I have here. And I choose to remodel the estate away. Again, the points don't matter if they brick. Helps me to clean up the deck. And we just pay off that and pass it back, storing a copper in the haven, but City Quarter at the top of the deck is not what we want to see, and our second City Quarter is really not what we want to see, and I decide to just call that a game. So that is game 1. We go down there. I don't feel too bad about game 1. Maybe there were a few places where I could have played differently, like prioritizing a second treasurer. But playing 5-2 against that hand and first player is very difficult. So we move on to the second kingdom here. We have draw, hunting party, encampment as well. Gain and is limited. It's only through importer. And Snowy Village is the only source of plus buy, which is interesting here. We have Exorcist to trash, Rats to trash as well. You could trash the Rats with the Exorcist to gain imps. Haven actually shows up again here, which is kind of crazy. Alchemist is there, but you could gain hunting parties so easily with the importer that you probably don't want to spend a whole buy for a potion. I open with the importer. Seems good. And I am going to open with the Exorcist. The importer will gain me hunting parties. So BigFarm follows suit here. I could store this haven estate in the haven. I choose to do so just so that I probably find the importer more quickly. It doesn't show up here, unfortunately. BigFarm, I believe they don't. Yeah, they do the same actually, but they store 2 cards because their 2 estates came in that hand. Fortunately for them, they get the importer down on turn 3. I trashed an estate for Wisp. Was unable to buy anything there though, which is kind of sad. You could also save a lot of coppers here, for example, and pick up a hunting party. I chose not to do that. Maybe that's wrong, because you start off with 5 favors because of the importer, right? Anyway, star chart on 3 here means I top deck the Will-O-Wisp, top deck the draw card, so you cycle more quickly. I think that makes sense. BigFarm gains an archive. I didn't really care for the archive. I feel hunting party is better, so I'm going to get the hunting party now because it cycles more. Will-O-Wisp draws, which is good. I find my second importer as well. I thought about silver. That is terrible. Don't buy the silver here. You could get to 5 without silver, I believe. I take a snowy village. Okay, I'll stop and tell you why. Because look at the pile of encampments. That is important. The plunders are important, not just because they have points and there's drawing on camp and there is draw on encampment, but because it's the obelisk pile. So every encampment and plunder is automatically worth 2 points. So that's why I got the plus buy there, to try and pick up some encampments early. I need a gold at some point or plunder, but we have importers. Maybe we get it. Okay, so BigFarm buys an encampment, passes it back. I get another importer again, which is Hunting Party. And at this point, I am very happy with my position. I have 2 hunting parties, which I think is better than the archive. I have trashed a little bit more. I've used my first player well. I have the snowy village now. This, I could save all these coppers, for example, but I choose instead to get the encampment. Maybe that's wrong. And I save a copper over here to try to get up to 6, maybe, to get the gold. You could also think about hoarding encampments and then using the importer to gain plunder. Maybe that is better, actually. Just gain them, but don't actually play them. My will-o-wisp misses there. I play this wisp here again because I have star chart. I don't really care about triggering shuffles. I'll be able to top deck a hunting party anyway. I get up to 5 and I choose to play this encampment to try to draw my importer. I do actually find the second importer and I buy a gold here. I had to return an encampment to do that, but maybe it's worth it. Alright, so BigFarm gains a hunting party now. They put down the importer, they gain an encampment, trashes a wisp. Alright, so we have the gold now. What I am going to do with these double importers here is I'm going to take 1 encampment and 1 hunting party, I believe. Because, no, I gain, alright. This is greedy play, right? The third importer is greedy. I thought I could find the third importer, which is why I gained it. But I couldn't, as you'll see soon enough. Should have been a hunting party if I could not find the last importer there. The idea here is that I think I can get up to 7 and 2 buys, so I could gain importer and not importer, encampment and plunder here, which is true, I can gain that, but I missed crucially the importer. I really wanted that importer in play there because that would give me extra gains, extra advantage going into the middle game here, but we missed, and now the importers are kind of messed up. Encampment plunder for me here, and I have another opportunity to put 2 copper aside here. Maybe I should, but I choose to put 1, and I figure the hunting party will do enough work for me here. They gain a plunder off their importer, which they top deck. Encampment draws cards for them. That's good news. They still don't have a snowy village, so not too concerned. They don't have that much gain. I mean, they have the importers, right? So that should be sufficient for the time being. It's not like they want to use the plus buy for anything right now, I feel. This will probably just be another plunder for them. So they have three what is it called? 3 encampments, sorry. And here is where this third importer gets in the way. And this is the downside of importer. Takes a turn to gain. I can't gain any of these plunders. And actually, I was hoping to get up to 10 and 2 buys here. To buy 2 plunders. Nope. I completely miss out on that. And I am going to lose both the encampment split and the plunder split. So I am already at a points deficit here. And I cannot afford for the game to go long because they will outscore me because they have 1 more plunder than I do. So I have to try to make the game short, which means I pile out on hunting parties and maybe importers. Maybe. And try to score points here. So they see all their plunders, which is, you know, good for them. go up to 8 and they actually start the province here, which is very bad news for me. Very bad news for me. I would want them to keep building so that I could score and try to overtake them on points. So my plan now, I gained 1 hunting party and I gained 2 more importers. I will start to use these importers for duchy. That is how I plan to catch up on points here. So we'll see how well that plan goes. I am able to draw through the deck here. I don't know why that couldn't happen last turn, honestly. Because we missed the importers, that's why. We had 3 importers in the deck. This time we had none. Or we had 2 that were in the discard. So I have to buy province here to contest points. And on 3, well, this is not clear what to gain here. I don't want to gain an importer because I don't want to make the piles too thin now. They have a points lead and they're going after points. Another snowy village is not crazy, to be honest. Look at how many spare actions I have. And but I don't know how I could use the plus buy, which is why I didn't go for it. I choose to go for a silver instead, and I didn't like the silver because it's a stop card. There's one more card for the hunting party to trip over. The snowy village is not such a card, you know. When I choose the silver instead, I chose economy instead of some consistency. We'll see how it pays off. They now gain a snowy village and they get to draw through their deck. Well, I mean, this is what happens when you win the encampment split, right? They have the draw. So they can comfortably get to province every turn from now, and things look bleak actually. We just lost that encampment split and plunder split. I don't really know how, because I thought I was in control through most of this middle game, and now at the end here things just seem to completely unravel for me. This could be double duchy. I choose instead to go for 2 hunting parties. I do need a little bit more consistency in the deck, and then I thought I would be putting down 3 importers here. I'm not. I don't miss province, but I don't get to put down 3 importers, which is very important. I need those to be down in order to gain as many duchies as possible, but doesn't happen. It does not happen. Now I have to gain duchy exclusively though, but I didn't count properly with the importers, and that is going to cost me the game here because BigFarm can pile out. Excuse me. They are able to maintain their points lead by matching my province with one of their own and extending their points lead by playing all 3 of their plunders every turn. Last turn I didn't play any plunders, for example. So now actually this is completely lost. Completely lost. I had the timings all wrong with the importers. I should have been gaining duchies earlier than that because they could gain 1 hunting party with the importer and then buy hunting party importer to finish the game here, and I simply cannot gain enough points to prevent a pile out at this point in the game here. So I have to take the province and hope they stall somehow, but they don't, and this is honestly tragic. I mean, we just mistimed the importers completely and it came back to bite us. And I need to look back at this game because I don't understand how I lost that encampment and plunder split. I'm okay with losing 1 split, but both of them, I mean, that's just bad. So we're 2-0 down. Moving into the 3rd game here. Here's the 3rd kingdom. This was a kind of strange kingdom for me here. You have, first of all, a lot of money enablers. You have pageant, you have soothsayer, you have horde, you have bandit. Even squire could just gain silver as a money enabler. On the other hand, you have mastermind, which is great for engines, and then you have black market. And depending on what you pull from the black market, you couldn't ignore the attack from the soothsayer and the bandit. But the problem is you don't know what is in the black market. Critically, what is missing from the board is trashing. You have buy, you have gain, you have draw, You have actions, but you don't have trashing. And the Soothsayer could be a problem if there's no trashing. I could very easily see a money strategy working here with Soothsayer, Horde, Pageant, and that's probably all you need. And it probably could be fast enough to beat Black Market if trashing shows up late in the Black Market. So honestly, if you tell me skip Black Market, play money, I could believe you. But I'm greedy and I like engines, so I didn't skip Black Market. Neither did BigFarm. We both open, I believe, Pageant and Black Market. With the new rules to the coffers, you could spend these coffers in the Black Market. They choose just to put our coffer on turn 3 here, which is good news for me. And I actually do see some trashing. And Bounty Hunter is actually good enough here. This could have been Suka as well to get rid of 2 estates. I actually didn't think about that until just now, but the Bounty Hunter has repetitive use, and with Mastermind, potentially you clean up 3 cards on 1 turn. So Bounty Hunter to me seemed good enough. We went for that. BigFarm doesn't see any trashing. Good for me. Capital, Throne Room, Farmer's Market. I don't think they want any of those. It's too early for Throne Room. They do go ahead though, and they get the Soothsayer. Now, this is a test for me, right? And I think I failed the test because I follow them on Soothsayer here. I was concerned that the Bounty Hunter couldn't clean up fast enough and that I would succumb to Soothsayer cursing. In retrospect, I think that's wrong because Mastermind is just too good of a card. Anyways, I follow them. Soothsayer comes out, they gain a Chariot Race. I also pick up a Chariot Race. It's a good card for points. Here they get a Guardian revealed, which I think is decent for them, but they choose an Inventor instead, which seems a little antithetical or inconsistent with the Soothsayer that they got. They don't have trash in yet, right? So I'm not really sure why the Inventor was gained, but then they go for Mastermind. So now it tells me, okay, now they want to build more engine-y. And look at this. This is beautiful. I pick up a Rats from the black market. That is incredibly lucky. We are 100% building engine now because the Rats will clean up the deck. I do not have to be worried in the slightest about the Soothsayer. Okay, another Chariot Race for BigFarm. I have 8, but 8 is the same as 5. I just want a Mastermind and lots of Masterminds here. So here they line up Mastermind with Inventor. I wasn't happy about that. I mean, there's no real reason for that to happen. Nobody lined that up except, RNG. And they get 2 Masterminds off of that as well. So that really was unpleasant for me to see that happen. And they play the Soothsayer, buying a 3rd Mastermind. So I could purchase something here, but Mastermind is much more important. I think I have enough action cards in the deck right now for the Mastermind to be worth it. More Chariot Race for them. Mastermind comes down. Has to be more important than the Soothsayer at this point. And we have a good chance of finding Mastermind on Rats or on Bounty Hunter. I choose Squire here because I need plus buy at some point. I do see the engine deck coming together, so we will want the plus buy. Not fussed about that. Mastermind for BigFarm. They go for another Chariot Race. I get to triple play Rats. Very happy about that. And put another Mastermind into play. This is a great draw. All of these cards are good. I choose the upgrade. More trashing, more gain potential. And triple play on Bounty Hunter. We are looking real good here. They get up to 10. And I think they do what they are supposed to do, which is, well, they could choose to buy more Masterminds if they want, but the black market hasn't been as kind to them, so they do make the tactically sound play of picking up Province there. I continue building my engine with another Mastermind. Okay. So they get to Mastermind their Chariot Race. They have quite a few Chariot Race points, unfortunately. And this is, again, I wasn't happy about this because Mastermind on Soothsayer. Come on. I have to clean up more crap from the deck. I do get a big hand size, which I'm grateful for, but I don't want the curses and I don't want the game to end quickly. And I'll tell you a secret here. I was not paying attention to the curse pile. So in my head, at this point in the game, only 2 piles were out. I had time. Don't worry about it, you know? Everybody is fine and dandy. Nothing to be overly concerned about here, but really there are 3 piles thin. Curses, Mastermind, and the Chariot Race. And they do have a few tricks up their sleeve. They could Mastermind on an Inventor again, or they could Mastermind a Messenger, which I just bought. A Mastermind on another Soothsayer, which is just very unpleasant. Black market first to try to throw something good into the deck. Nothing good comes out. I gain the last Chariot Race. And on 8, I go for another Mastermind. Maybe that should have been Province. Again, I wasn't watching the pile situation. Now I am, though. Now I'm aware. I said, oh, wait. There's a 3rd pile. It's called Curse because I see 3 of the curses in my hand here. So we Chariot Race 3 times, gain some points. Then we Rats 3 times. Now Chariot Race is going to look very, very good for me. I've thinned most of the crap out of my deck. And most of the Chariot Races will win. So I could gain a lot of points with that. Unfortunately, I don't have the draw quite yet. I'm going to get it now by turning this Bounty Hunter into a Scholar. So next turn I should be good for draw. Black market. And the correct play is to not play the Soothsayer. Don't play the Soothsayer. And don't buy a Mastermind. Don't do it. Buy another Scholar. Please. Watch the piles. Come on, man. That is living very dangerously. Very, very dangerously. Because they could Mastermind anything here. They Mastermind Chariot Race, play a few more, get another Mastermind. And this is astounding that they're able to get up to double Province here. And they should take it, really. There's no reason for them not to take it. Massive points lead, but I can catch up, right? My deck is way better. Unfortunately, these Chariot Races will miss because they have a gold on top of their deck. That's normal. For me, that always happens with Chariot Race. I get an expand here. Instead of a Province, for reasons, they get another Province, probably. That's what they should do. They could also get the Mastermind, honestly, and then pile out the game very easily. Here, okay, I got a Wheelwright, but I kind of forgot Wheelwright only gains actions. I thought I could gain duchies with this thing, which is why I picked it up, but yeah, lots and lots of mistakes is what I'm saying. We gain some more Scholars with the Wheelwright. And I don't want to gain the Mastermind now. I really left this thing for too late. I'll gain a Messenger, I guess. Mastermind again here, this time on Squire for buys. And then I have to Mastermind Scholar, which is not really something I wanted to do. I could have gone for the upgrade. Probably should have gone for the upgrade, honestly, but kind of waste some of these Mastermind plays, honestly. I would have loved to see an expand. Mastermind on expand, but that didn't work out. We get our King's Court here. All the good stuff is coming too late. Well, I say too late. I've been pushing on the piles like a scrub, so who is to blame? Haha. Alright, Black Market. I can pick up our Villa here for the plus buy and still get to Province. I will do that. These are nice cards, but I don't have the money. Militia is nice to prevent them from getting to Province. And we pick up a Province of our own. So I think if we get one more turn, we should be okay in terms of... Oh... Well, that was tragic, but I only have myself to blame for that. Bad luck and bad play. Terrible combination. So now we need to win 4 in a row here. I am thoroughly upset at this point. not just by the score, but the way I played the last game and the game before that with the hunting parties. I was in control. I had no reason to lose that, but I did somehow. Very confusing. Okay, so here's the fourth kingdom. It looks like cultists will play a role. Investment is important to trash. Ultimately, it looks like a big King's Court bridge troll thing. So we open investment. We could open monkey with the investment. I don't think opening the monkey is the greatest thing in the world. Monkey at some point might be good, but not on the opening. I think you want a silver instead to try to get the cultist. Cultist is not as bad here because Necromancer could trash the ruins and then draw 3 cards with it. So I was a little skeptical about picking up the cultist, but I did go for it because it junks faster than the Necromancer can clean. So I think it's worth it. This is unpleasant. I could choose to trash there, but I want the cultist instead. So I go for the cultist. BigFarm opens the same way, I believe. Investment and silver, they get the trash. I get my monkey. Not really sure why. Maybe another silver. Okay, another silver is better there. I thought I could get the King's Court without the silver. Just with cultist draw is why I didn't pick up the silver. So they get a second silver, which is fine. Perfectly reasonable, actually. They land their cultist. They see it at the top of their shuffle. That's good for them. Get to 5. Picks up another cultist. I trash. I pick up another cultist. So I think I have 3 of them. They have 2 of them. Hopefully we could find money to buy a King's Court. I trash another cuphead because I didn't want to dead draw cultist. Maybe that's wrong. They pick up a village. I will also pick up a village here to try to connect village with cultist. They play 2 cultists in a row. They get the trash and, well, they get King's Court. I don't know what else to say. I mean, yeah, they have the extra silver, but that hand was all treasure. No ruins, no shelters, just all treasure. Another cultist for me, another village for them. Here, again, I hold up on trashing the overgrown estate. Maybe I should stop being so scared and trash it. I get a second investment to help me trash. Still only 1 silver for me. 6 for them is Bridge Troll. Makes perfect sense with their King's Court. I get to dump a lot of ruins in their deck, and I get a Bridge Troll of my own. So maybe, hopefully, I could find all my cultists and the Bridge Troll. I have a couple sources of plus action in the deck. I have a village and an Acropolis, which are here. So hopefully I find a cultist. 5 for them is probably another cultist. Could be Bridge Troll as well. I could believe Bridge Troll now, because they have the King's Court, right? I mean, the point of the deck is to play King's Court and Bridge Troll, not to play King's Court and Cultist. You do need the draw, of course, but we miss here. Any cultists? Pick up another village. Keep on trying to get the King's Court. They put down their Bridge Troll, which is going to make it more difficult for me to gain King's Court. Village and a Vagrant for them. I don't want to trigger the shuffle with all the cultists out of it, so we just trash 1. Pick up a Necromancer here. Necromancer could help with the ruins. It could also help draw a lot of cards. I could trash the monkey, for example, draw 3 cards, connect village and cultists more easily. Could even trash a cultist to draw a lot of cards. That's plus 6 cards, you know? Another cultist for them. Another dead turn for me. 3 is a second monkey. Maybe should have been a village. This is good for them, lining up the King's Court with the cultist. It will happen eventually, as long as the King's Court is in the deck. And they put their Bridge Troll down as well. I'm happy they didn't put the King's Court on the Bridge Troll. Anyways, the extra draw allows them to get up the King's Court and another Bridge Troll. It gives me a lot of cards from the monkey. Hooray, monkey, but no village. No village, and the Bridge Troll actually prevents me from hitting King's Court on that turn. I thought I was able to hit King's Court because I saw 7. So from this point on, I play the game as though I have a King's Court in my deck, but I actually don't because I'm dumb. Okay, Village Cultist and no more Cultists. Sad. Put the Bridge Troll down. Do you put the Bridge Troll down there or the Monkey? Not entirely clear to me. I want to buy more King's Courts, more Bridge Trolls. So I put down the Bridge Troll because it lets me do that. Piles are thin, so I don't want to touch the villages. Get a couple pawns instead. Those are harmless. They're also not very helpful, but they're harmless. And they could also be plus buys, right? In the event that you're lacking buy, a pawn could be a plus buy. All right. So they've done very well with their single investment, to be honest. Very, very well. They get up to 6 here. Could be more Bridge Troll, is more Bridge Troll. Solo Cultist draws into 2 more action cards. Not a happy time for me. More Bridge Troll for me. Do I have villages in the deck? Do I? I'm not sure, really. I think I have less than them, but I have some. I can't tell you where they are. I've drawn Necromancer dead twice now too, so that hasn't worked out. More Bridge Troll for them. I am scared of touching piles. Maybe I shouldn't be because if they go off, they empty the piles anyway. So, you know, emptying 4 villages and 2 cultists is as trivial as emptying 3 villages and 2 cultists. But I play scared and buy pawns because I thought, well, that's safe. Nothing is safe from this hand. King, king, village, cultist. Please. Not like this. Not like this. No. So we crash out of the Dominion Online Championship 2022 in the first match that we play. I played badly in parts. You can't, miss out on 3 piles involving curses. You can't miscount or mistime importers. And then there was some bad luck. This game, nothing connected for me. The first game had the 5-2, which was difficult to play against. They converted it well, right? But playing against it is still difficult. I was despondent after this game. I left very quickly. But, you should grade yourself harshly, but don't beat yourself up on receiving a low grade. We do enter a new tournament. All the people who get knocked out by round 3 are entered into a consolation tournament. So I have another opportunity to put my head down and play better Dominion there. So we'll see how far we could get in that tournament. I apologize for the poor quality of play. I hope not. I hope. I will make sure it improves in the future. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.